Let's face it, most people visiting Japan do the same sort of things. Kyoto's shrines, Osaka's food, and Tokyo's neon lights and regrets. And rightly so, these places are iconic, essential even, for first-time travellers trying to capture the magic and madness of Japan all in one go. Unmissable locations that we encouraged you to experience in our previous 14 Days in Japan itinerary video. But what about the big question? What comes next? Where do you go on your second trip? Or for lucky travellers staying longer than 2 weeks, where do you go to explore? Hell, maybe you just want to go off the beaten path and do something new. Well, we're delighted to share with you the most requested video of this year, a sequel to 14 Days in Japan, shining a spotlight on some truly jaw-dropping locations that often go overlooked. And so in our 21 Days in Japan trip, shot on location, we'll get lost down the picture postcard streets of the Venice of Japan, have a soak in an underrated Ghibli-esque hot spring town, enjoy local dishes, both mouth-watering and bizarre, and get swept up in the electric atmosphere of a night market. And don't worry, this itinerary won't be retreading the same ground as our 14 Days in Japan video. 21 Days in Japan is your ultimate guide to making every minute of your time here count. And honestly, there's never been a better time to visit. Coming to Japan is the trip of a lifetime, and right now the Japanese yen is the weakest that it has been in 30 years, so your money will genuinely go a lot further. But what about the flights, typically the most expensive part? And thankfully, it's never been easier to find cheap flights to Tokyo, especially thanks to the sponsor of our epic trip, Skyscanner. Whenever I'm travelling between the UK and Japan, Skyscanner is always the first place I head to. And clearly, I'm not the only one, given Skyscanner receives over 5,000 search requests per second and over 1 billion every single month. Simply whip out your phone, open the app, and thanks to their 1,200 partnerships across flights, accommodation, and even car hire, you can practically prepare your entire journey from start to finish, all from within your pocket. Hell, you can even set a price alert and let them do the hard part of tracking the fluctuating costs, so you'll be notified when the price falls. You can also try multi-city search, which allows you to add extra legs to your trip. Useful if you plan to follow a similar itinerary as our trip today. You can grab the Skyscanner app over on iOS, Android or desktop, linked in the description box below, or the handy QR code down here in the corner. Oh. But a big thank you to Skyscanner for making this video pretty much all shot on location possible. Right then, better get going, we've got a train to catch. The vast majority of travellers coming to Japan visit the cities of Tokyo, Kyoto and Osaka, but not as many travellers head west beyond Kansai region. And so, for the first leg of our 21 Days in Japan journey, we're venturing across several spectacular locations as we make our way out to the city of Fukuoka. Joining us on our trip is our ever-cheeky travelling companion Natsuki, who as a resident of North Japan is also enjoying many of these locations for the first time himself. And to kick things off, we're heading to the gateway of West Japan, the city of Himeji, home to the nation's most iconic castle, which we come face to face with the moment we step outside of the station. Check that out. Himeji has probably the best view of any station in Japan. You walk out and there it is, right down the end of the street, dominating the skyline. Beautiful. And people come from all around Japan to block the view with their umbrellas.
Himeji in the lane.
Himeji in the rain.
Himeji singing the lane.
While Natsuki does, whatever that is, I'm going to make my way to the castle. One of Japan's 26 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, Himeji Castle was completed in 1609, primarily to protect Kyoto from the western side of the country. And incredibly, unlike most castles in Japan which have been destroyed or rebuilt several times over, Himeji has stood for centuries, surviving earthquakes, fires, and even wartime bombings. In 1945, while the city itself was completely destroyed, only one firebomb landed on the building and thankfully didn't detonate, remarkably sparing the castle. My God, no matter how many times I look at Himeji Castle, I always think the same thing. How on earth did humans build something that looks this damn good? If there's one castle you see while you're in Japan, make it Himeji Castle. It is the most visually striking by far. There's other good ones like Matsumoto Castle, the Black Castle, over in the central Japan Alps, and there's my favourite castle, Matsuyama, nestled on a mountain in the heart of the city. But for sheer visual spectacle, Himeji has the wow factor to it. Now, I've been here 3 times in the last 10 years, and I've never actually set foot inside it. So today, let's go inside and take a look. Himeji's main keep is a 6-storey wooden structure, and getting to it is no easy task. It's an absolute labyrinth down below of gates and baileys, deliberately designed to ensure attacking forces would struggle to reach the inner sanctum. The complexity of the structure is genuinely impressive and, dare I say, bloody tiring. It's certainly a far cry from Osaka Castle's elevator access. My God.
It's like we're in prison.
Oh, good.
We're 46 metres high right now, the top of Himeji Castle. It took 30 minutes to get in here, right? 価値ある?
あると思うよ。
Oh, okay, it was worth it.
Japan of history ね。
I really like wandering the grounds of Himeji, the area around it, but the inside, it's cool. If you've never been in a castle in Japan, it is quite a unique place to see and whatever, but for me, Himeji is best experienced from the outside. I think 30 minutes to get here, I wouldn't have bothered invading. I'd have given up. I'll give us 30 minutes.
Oh, no buzzers.
I would have got like halfway up the castle, like, oh, screw it, you can keep the castle. I'm not invading. You can have it. Too much effort getting up here.
I need an elevator.
The most dangerous aspect of this castle, the bloody stairs getting out of there. They're practically vertical.
As we begin to make our treacherous descent, it seems the castle's powerful defensive mechanisms are about to claim one last victim in battle.
Always his pants broken. Oh, very sad. Oh, looks like castle window. Castle window.
My shorts got ripped on the castle going up the ladder.
Castle window. Oh.
Careful when coming to Himeji. Going up the ladder, if your shorts don't fit, it doesn't end well. It was a defence mechanism built in the 17th century to prevent soldiers from
Soldiers side.
wearing their finest Uniqlo shorts.
As I mourn the loss of my favourite shorts, we grab some snacks and Natsuki's all-important beer and hop on a 2-hour-long train ride to our next stop, the charming hot spring town of Kinosaki, nestled in a stunning valley on the Sea of Japan coastline. Kinosaki is the quintessential Japanese hot spring town, with no less than 7 public bathhouses lining the streets, many of which are visible while strolling down the banks of the Kinosaki Canal that elegantly runs through the centre of town. If you're lucky, you may also get to spot one of the magnificent oriental white storks, which actually went extinct in the wild back in 1971, but have thankfully reappeared in the region thanks to conservation efforts. And just as the oriental white stork drinks from the soothing waters of Kinosaki Canal, Natsuki and I too drink from the mineral-rich waters pumped up from beneath the ground and served at a tap in the town square, and quickly discover the taste of regret.
So, we just arrived at Kinosaki Hot Spring, and look at this, there's a little water fountain as you come out of the station and drink the natural mineral water.
Hot spring monument. Salty.
Shoppai. Very salty. Don't drink that.
Hokkai straight.
Yeah, I won't lie, it tasted like onsen water bathed in my 10 salarymen. Drinking hot spring water is seldom a rewarding experience I've found over the years. Alas, now re-energised, it's time to head into town for a stroll along the river and check the many stone arch bridges known as taikobashi for their round appearance and resemblance to the taiko drum.
Yes, we found the iconic stork that's famous here in Kinosaki. This is really beautiful, this river here. This town dates back about 1,300 years. We've got these willow trees lining the riverbanks and little kind of bathhouses along the side as well. I think there's about 7 where you can come in off the street essentially and enjoy the bath. We're not going to do that today, we have got a ryokan for ourselves, but if you come here and stay in the town, you can enjoy all that it has to offer.
While Natsuki and I are saving our hot spring bathing for tonight's ryokan, the traditional inn, Natsuki can't help but indulge himself at one of the many foot baths found around town, where, free of charge, you can soothe your feet after a long stroll. Just remember to treat the baths with the utmost care and respect. Oh, dear God.
You contaminated the onsen with your tobacco.
Kinosaki is also renowned for its prized snow crab, known as Matsuba Gani, thanks to its location alongside the ever-bountiful Sea of Japan. And for travellers on the go, there's no better way to enjoy that snow crab than in a crispy golden deep-fried battered korokke, which can be found at stalls throughout town.
Hey, this is kani cream korokke.
Sweetie. Creamy sweetie.
Sweet crab cream. Yeah. The town's famous for crabs. You can see there's like a life-size, I say life-size, a gigantic crab up on the side of the building there.
I don't like fish, but crab is okay.
Oh, okay. Sigh of relief there. Just spent 300 yen on this.
Oh.
It's almost like mashed potato with white sauce and little chunks of crab in there. And it's so delicious.
Ma.
Tomorrow?
Ma.
It doesn't say that often, so
1 to 10, 8.
well.
Having enjoyed our afternoon of crab and nature's Pocari sweat, it's time to check into our traditional inn. While many of Kinosaki's inns line the canal downtown, we've chosen to stay in a hotel overlooking the Maruyama River that leads out into the sea, and where the rooms come with their very own private baths. Nothing but the finest for Natsuki, naturally.
Wow, scale! Good location! Wow. Hinoki bus! Amazing! Yeah! I want a beer! Good location and a good beer and good vibration!
Well, I think we can safely say Natsuki approves of the hotel room. So all that remains now is to run a nice hot bath for His Royal Highness to enjoy the view. I have to say, it's one of the nicest views we've ever had from a ryokan, overlooking the misty mountains in the Sea of Japan. I did want to enjoy the view from the comfort of the bathtub, but unfortunately, he beat me to it. Be careful who you bring with you to these places. They might get in the bath first and do awful, awful things with lemons. Well, now we're all scrubbed up and smelling of lemons, it's time for a fine banquet. A kaiseki dinner is a traditional multi-course Japanese meal of carefully curated seasonal and typically local food, which is meticulously presented and, dare I say, undeniably relentless. Be sure to enjoy it on an empty stomach. So this is zensai, kind of like a starter dish. Usually it's very kind of artistically inspired and features a lot of seasonal kind of dishes. What have we got here, Natsuki? Shrimp.
Long hand.
Long hand. Long hand. Shrimp leg. It's also got chestnuts, because they're seasonal, because it's autumn. But as great as the starter was, it's the main course where the trip to Kinosaki really starts to pay dividends. So with a kaiseki dinner, it's quite a well-balanced meal between fish, vegetables and meat, and the highlight is the meat. And we've got Tajima beef, the local beef of Kinosaki and Hyogo Prefecture.
Quiet. Only beef sounds. Come on. And salt time.
You have to hand it to Natsuki, he certainly knows how to cook his wagyu. Well fed thanks to our Michelin-starred chef, it's the perfect end to our trip to Kinosaki Onsen.
Oh man. Japanese sake. I'm a Japanese man.
You heard it here first. The next day we set off back inland to the picturesque town of Kurashiki, often referred to as the Venice of Japan for its abundance of canals. Located in Okayama Prefecture on Japan's inland sea coastline, Kurashiki's Old Town Quarter has done a remarkable job maintaining its Edo-era aesthetic. While part of the larger city of Kurashiki, the Old Town Quarter was actually overseen by the Tokugawa shogunate, the rulers of Japan, who turned it into a hub for collecting rice taxes, the lifeblood of Japan's economy. In the years since, Kurashiki's become synonymous with art and culture, with unique galleries, museums and artisan shops nestled amidst the historical buildings, offering a peaceful escape and a taste of old-world Japan. And nothing displays that better than our choice of accommodation, a traditional machiya townhouse, nestled right in the heart of the town.
Welcome to my house. Come on. Do you want to eat? Yeah.
While machiya wooden townhouses have been disappearing as homes, given the rather expensive and inconvenient upkeep, many have been reborn as overnight accommodation for travellers. And I'll gladly admit, of all the types of accommodation found throughout Japan, machiya are by far my favourite. It's all about that immediate sense of calm and relaxation that comes from the all-natural materials, from the sliding paper doors and tatami straw mats, to the carefully crafted woodwork found throughout the interior. Amidst the backdrop of Kurashiki, it really does feel like stepping back in time. So as you can probably tell by my face, we've just woken up and it is beautiful this morning. The light coming in through the many, many windows of the machiya. I must say I do love machiya townhouses. They're so relaxing. You've got the natural light coming in. They often feel a lot bigger than they actually are because of that, because of the windows, because of the space here. Like, look at this. And this place cost about 50,000 yen, so about £260, about $300, which is really cheap when you think you can fit about 4 or 5 people in here, right? So you don't pay per person, you pay
for the whole place. So as long as you come with 2 to 3 people, it's actually very kind of good on your pocket as well. Yeah, I'm not going to eat that. I'll put those down here. And so this is the game car on the entrance. You come in, take your shoes off, of course, switch to slippers or just to socks, and then we walk in here, and this is the tatami room. And you can find in here good old Natsuki, who's for some reason asleep. Daijoubu. You look dead.
Dead.
Daijoubu. What I love about townhouses as well is because of all the windows, right, and all the light coming in, you get this. Lights coming into the room, and you don't even know where it's from, right? It might be that window, no. Might be that window, no. It's it's over there. It's window number 7. So there you go. He wants to go and see Kurashiki.
I like it.
Let's go.
Honestly, amidst the willow trees, canals and Edo-era architecture, Kurashiki might just be the most picture postcard town in all of Japan, with travellers gleefully floating through the streets on canal boats, as merchants once did when transporting rice around town.
Wow. Great ship. No motor. Too slowly.
It's reversing. Like no Natsuki's there. I really do love the vibes in Kurashiki. I still remember coming here 6 years ago incredibly well, and love the boatman just nestled on the back of the boat. Like a side quest waiting to be initiated. Get on the boat, begin the journey.
And while cars are thankfully banned from Kurashiki streets, Natsuki is delighted to find it is still possible to get around town without needing to walk.
Natsuki's big adventure.
Yeah. I want to try. Let's go. Woo!
Oh, it's pretty quick actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to say it's hard not to feel guilty tearing through the streets of Kurashiki as though we're about to commit an Edo-era drive-by.
Oh, hello.
Run over the cameraman. Run him down.
Paul, he's running.
And yet you soon realise hopping on a rickshaw almost turns you into a character. A piece of the atmosphere and aesthetic of Edo-era Japan.
Oh wow. Natsuki's car.
Mini Cooper.
Denim shop.
Wow. I
Denim.
like denim.
Surprisingly, Kurashiki isn't all about tradition though, it's also the birthplace of Japanese denim. The Kojima district was once the heart of denim production in Japan in the 1960s, and today it's often referred to as Jeans Street, with boutiques and workshops dedicated to the craft. Hell, there's even a denim-themed hot dog. Surely, it must be good.
Wow, amazing color. Oh, jeans color. Maybe jeans taste.
A blue pork steam bun. Smells okay.
Okay.
Oh, the colour is.
Our color is no bad taste.
Yeah. It could be worse. It could literally be denim stuffed full of pork.
Looks like candy color.
Yeah, tarikimasu.
American taste.
The pork tastes good. The bun,
Buns.
no, not good.
Oh.
Don't know if I recommend this. Maybe get the hot dog, which Natsuki's got, which is of course also blue. It takes 7 minutes to make the denim hot dog, so you know it's going to be good. It smells alright.
So.
Yes, this is Natsuki's blue hot dog.
Oh, blue hot dog. Real blue hot dog. Blue dog.
Yeah. What's the verdict? Can you taste the denim? Oh god! Oh my god!
Oishii.
Oh really? Your face.
Ganda.
You need to buy some denim.
Shit.
Like a jeans.
denim.
You need, that's the
Jeans.
thing about the hot dog. It's so messy. Then when you buy it and eat it, get it all over your trousers. You've got to buy the jeans. You've got to buy the denim. It's part of the idea of Kurashiki, right? 1 to 10. Denim no aji.
7 denim.
7. Well, that's pretty good, isn't it? 7 out of 10.
I will say, every time I leave Kurashiki, I really do regret not staying longer. Try and spend at least a day in town, and you'll soon discover what makes it such a well-earned stop on your travels around Japan. Kurashiki is just a 1-hour train ride from the city of Onomichi in Hiroshima, which is the starting point of the single greatest experience you can possibly have in Japan, the Shimanami Kaido cycle route. The Shimanami Kaido is a 70-kilometre long cycle route that stretches over 7 islands in the Setouchi Inland Sea, with jaw-dropping scenery, emerald blue seas, white sandy beaches, and some of the most impressive bridges in the entire country. If you do one thing in this itinerary video, or any Abroad Japan video ever, let it be this. Having climbed Mount Fuji twice and cycled the Shimanami Kaido twice, I can safely say the Shimanami is far more rewarding and fun as a physical challenge. And as an added bonus, once you end the cycle in Shikoku, you're just a short train ride from the city of Matsuyama, home to Dogo Onsen, the inspiration for the bathhouse from Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away, and of course my favourite castle in Japan, which I mentioned earlier in this video, Matsuyama Castle. Here on Abroad Japan, we've got dedicated videos on both the cycle and Matsuyama. Definitely consider giving them a watch, and if we'd had more time and if I'd been able to convince Natsuki to actually get on a bicycle, I certainly wouldn't have hesitated for a moment to reshoot the trip once again for this video. Fortunately though, I have been able to convince Natsuki to travel with me to our next location. Unsurprising perhaps, given the city in question is the modern-day nightlife capital of Japan. Located on Japan's southern island of Kyushu, Fukuoka is a city that often flies under the radar despite being a foodie hotspot, perhaps best known for its lively yatai open-air food stalls lining the banks of the Naka River downtown, and of course the creamy mouth-watering taste of Hakata pork broth ramen. Along the way we'll also be checking out one of Japan's most impressive temples, but having just arrived in town after a 2-hour journey from Kurashiki, we find ourselves overlooking the quintessential Fukuoka view from our downtown hotel balcony.
Welcome to my room. Oh, great.
Is that English tea?
English tea, so afternoon tea. Afternoon.
Wow.
Garden.
Garden.
Wow. Wow, ほら、もう屋台出てんじゃん。
So here we are in central Fukuoka, the gateway to the island of Kyushu. Fukuoka is Japan's 6th largest city, and years ago when I interviewed one of the biggest rock stars in the country, Hyde from the band Larkinson, I asked him, where's your favourite city, where's your favourite place? And he said Fukuoka, for the food, for the people, for the vibrancy. And whenever I come here, I kind of get what he was alluding to.
As we've arrived in the evening though, it's time to experience Fukuoka in its element, namely when the sun goes down. Heading over to the yatai stands, you'll find an intoxicating atmosphere of crowds intimately gathered around, concealed beneath the steam and smoke from grilling yakitori chicken and savoury oden hot pots, while sprawling billboards tower overhead, illuminating the riverside in a soft neon glow. It really is an intense place, but it's not hard to see the appeal, as strangers gather to eat, drink and enjoy each other's company, shoulder to shoulder.
So pro tip, try and get to the yatai stands early. It's 6:30 and each and every one is currently full. So maybe try and get here for 6. I'll admit I've been here 5 times, and out of those 5 times, only once have I managed to sit down and find myself a seat. With that in mind, we're probably not going to eat here tonight, but it's still a beautiful spot to walk down the riverside, enjoy the smell of chicken grilling on each and every stand, and just soak up the atmosphere of Fukuoka at night. It's a beautiful spot.
Fortunately for us, it's Natsuki to the rescue, as he finds us a famous local shop just around the corner, serving up one of Fukuoka's staple foods.
So we're at a Mizutaki restaurant. It's kind of like a chicken soup broth hot pot. And I've never had it before actually. And you know it's good in this restaurant because there's about 500 famous people on the wall. And soon there'll be Natsuki.
I'll admit I was rather impressed by the signatures on the wall at first. That was until I took a closer look.
Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs, founder of Apple.
Fake.
2014. He'd been dead 3 years. Probably another Steve Jobs, but... So the first ritual of the dish is you try the soup broth, which is all the different cuts of chicken inside boiling away, right? So should be rather flavourful. Cheers. Oh wow. Wow.
All over chicken.
Ah, so good. So salty.
Yeah.
Salty, rich, flavourful. That's really good.
Just so we don't screw up the dish, a member of staff turns up to roll our chicken tsukune meat into balls and plop them into the hot pot. And after a few minutes of simmering away, they're ready to go.
When you get past the pain of your mouth burning, it's very good. Very juicy, very flavourful.
Chicken passion.
Chicken passion.
Well, we might have failed to get a seat at the yatai stands, but at least we got to enjoy a fine meal at Steve Jobs' favourite restaurant. Yeah. The next morning we set off on a 25-minute train ride out into the mountains. to Kiddo Nanzo-in-mai Station to visit the Nanzo-in Temple, home to the legendary reclining Buddha. While the Buddha is undeniably spectacular, the temple itself is built into the side of a mountain, with forested paths, captivating statues, shrines and streams, giving it something of a wonderfully enchanting atmosphere. At one point, you even get to travel through a small dimly lit cave, and after a short climb up the stone steps, we reach the main attraction, the magnificent reclining Buddha.
You know, there comes a point when travelling around Japan when all the temples sort of blur into one, and only a few spring to mind. And one of them, for me, is the Nanzo-in Temple. Because of this, one of the largest reclining bronze Buddha statues on the planet, 41 metres long, 300 tonnes, and it is stunning. The Buddha we see here is in those moments before entering Nirvana, and entering the temple kind of feels like Nirvana, thanks to the bridges, the streams, the waterfalls, as it's built into the side of the mountain. And of course, touching the Buddha's feet is good luck, so let's go and find Natsuki. So it's good luck to touch the feet of the Buddha.
Oh,
good luck.
amazing.
It's quite hot today, so the bronze radiates the heat, and it feels kind of nice. What shoe size?
10 feet?
10 foot, yeah.
Heading back into Fukuoka, we go from one wonder to another as we find ourselves in Canal City Shopping Mall, with its impressive water features and design reminiscent of a postmodern Roman Colosseum. At last, a place where Natsuki can act out his fantasies of being a Roman emperor.
It seems wrong to sort of recommend a shopping mall, right? But Canal City is an attraction in its own right. The design is pretty spectacular. This area here feels like someone's chopped up a Roman Colosseum. And there's a highly elaborate fountain display roaring beneath us intermittently. But what of you? It looks really cool, and whether you're shopping or not, as it is quite central, near Hakata Station and Nakasu, it's worth stopping by and passing through it. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
And it seems Natsuki's luck rubbing the feet of the Buddha has already started to pay off, as he's found us a top ramen shop downtown for lunch.
Shinshin Ramen. You know it's good because there's a 15 to 20 minute queue, and it's one of the most famous branches in the city, along with places like Itudo, Ichiran. So, excited?
Yeah, I like tonkotsu.
Tonkotsu.
Most of tonkotsu.
Is it your favourite? Soy sauce, miso, tonkotsu.
Tonkotsu. Yeah.
Why?
Next to soy sauce. Because more food looks like food.
It looks like food, because soy sauce, ramen and miso don't. I think what Natsuki's trying to say is tonkotsu broth takes a long time to make. You know, you've got to boil the pork bones, let it simmer. It's quite thick and flavourful. So I kind of get it. Compared to like soy sauce where the broth can be quite thin and quite light. So, itadakimasu.
Oh, itadakimasu.
Yeah.
Soup.
The soup smells so damn good.
Meat, fat meat.
Oh wow. Soup, try the soup. Oh my god. Tonkotsu, man. Oh, it's like a gravy sauce. It's so nice. Oh my god. 3 key parts to a good ramen.
Barikata.
The soup, the noodles, and the chashu. Look at that. Another thing about Hakata ramen, thin noodles. And also, the gyoza is another big part of Hakata ramen. Hitokuchi gyoza, literally one mouthful, one bite gyoza. So it's quite small. What about a third to half the size of a normal piece of gyoza?
It seems the ramen isn't the only famous thing here. Apparently, now we are too.
Somebody at the restaurant recognised us and asked us to do like a signature. You know, one of those signs like we saw yesterday with Steve Jobs. And it seems in my haste, I wrote Fukuoka as Fukuwaka Waka.
Fukuoka.
I misspelled it, yeah. What an idiot. Oh dear. Good ramen though, check it out. Shinshin Ramen.
Shinshin.
Number 1.
Saiko.
Fukuwaka Waka.
So much.
For those travellers who want to spend a bit more time in Kyushu, just 2 hours from Fukuoka, is the city of Beppu, Japan's largest hot spring town, famed for its 7 hells, literally 7 smouldering hot springs with plumes of steam rising out across the cityscape in an almost post-apocalyptic fashion. There's nowhere else in Japan quite like it, and it really is a worthy overnight stay if you're looking for the ultimate hot spring experience. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of Kyushu, the city of Nagasaki has recently gotten a lot more easy to reach. It's just a 90-minute journey from Fukuoka, now that the Shinkansen is finally in service. From the abandoned island of Gunkanjima and Chinatown's mouth-watering steamed pork buns to the Nagasaki Peace Park Museum and one of the most beautiful viewpoints in all of Japan. Nagasaki is an underrated city and well worth a visit if you've got 2 days and 1 night to spare. We've got dedicated videos on both locations, definitely check them out after you finish watching this video. Well, we've seen what West Japan has to offer, but what about the rest of the country? What about the north? And for that, let me take you to a very special place, nestled away in the mountains of the northern region of Tohoku.
So this stunning backdrop is Yamadera Temple, and it is probably the most beautiful temple in all of North Japan because it's high up in the mountains here. It takes about 1,000 steps to reach this point, and it's 1,000 years old, so it kind of works out nicely, 1 step per year. Although by the time you reach the top here, you will feel rather dead. But across the valley, you know, the autumn colours and the temple, it is an incredible backdrop. And these days I feel like a lot of people travel for other people, you know, to try and speed run Tokyo and Kyoto, get the usual scenic sights, take the photo, take the selfie, without actually enjoying and appreciating the good stuff. And when you come to Tohoku, you're travelling for yourself, right? The places are kind of sparse and more difficult to travel to, but when you get there, when you reach places like this, you'll feel things that you simply can't feel in urban sprawls like Tokyo, like Kyoto. And when I come out here, I'm kind of reminded about what makes Japan so special, what makes it such an incredible place to explore and discover.
Having spent the best part of a decade producing videos up here in Tohoku, naturally I don't want to simply reshoot them all for this video. So what I'd like to do now is share with you my top 10 places up here in North Japan, and if any of these locations interest you, you can find the specific video listed in the description box below for a more detailed episode. And so, in no particular order, number 1. Sendai is Tohoku's largest city and the jumping off point to places like Yamadera, which is just a 40-minute train ride inland. Meanwhile, head out to the coast and you'll find Matsushima Bay, one of Japan's 3 historic sites, with its striking 200 islands, home to hot springs and the beautiful Ensuin Temple. It's a great place for an overnight getaway. Number 2, Ginzan Onsen might just be the most visually impressive hot spring town in the country, and certainly the snowiest, with its rustic architecture and hot springs steaming away throughout the town. Whether you're staying overnight or swinging by for a few hours, it's somewhere you certainly won't forget in a hurry. Number 3, Hachinohe in Aomori is home to Japan's largest morning market, open every Sunday from March to December. It's one hell of a place to get lost and spend the morning eating, drinking and getting mixed in with the crowds on the waterfront. At number 4, it can be easy to overlook Aomori City, but when you're the prefecture with the most terrifying festival floats in the country, the home of cider and curry miso milk ramen, you deserve a seat at the top table. Bundle it in with a trip to Hachinohe and you won't regret it. At number 5, Fukushima is home to the ramen capital of Japan, the town of Kitakata, where there are more ramen shops per capita than any other place in the country. Come for breakfast, lunch and dinner, then ride a treadmill. And continuing the theme of food, number 6 takes us to Morioka, land of noodles, with its 3 iconic noodle dishes, the most famous of which is wanko soba. Not so much a dish as a painful challenge, to eat as many bowls of soba noodles possible before you physically explode. My record is 118 bowls, see if you can beat it. Number 7 isn't technically in Tohoku, but offshore on an hour-long ferry ride to Sado Island. It's all the best that Japan has to offer, shrunken down into a mysterious island filled with temples and shrines. Just avoid going in winter as the ferry can get a bit dicey. Number 8, Akita has the most beautiful hot spring waters in the country, at Tsurunoyu Hot Springs. A highly rare mixed hot spring. Not for everyone of course, but located high in the mountains, its inaccessibility is half its charm. It's another spectacular mountain escape, bursting to the brim with rustic charm. At number 9 we have Takoku no Iwaya, a legendary temple built into the side of a cliff that dates back over 1,000 years. A chronically underrated temple, and very close to Chusonji, one of the most sacred sites in all of North Japan. And finally, number 10 is Sapporo. Hell, it's not even in Tohoku, it's like saying, England is my city. Sapporo is the quintessential city break in Japan, just a 90-minute flight from Tokyo. People flock here for the food above all. Miso butter ramen, Genghis Khan lamb mutton barbecue, and koibito cookies. Take in the downtown area of Susukino at night, and you'll see what makes this place so damn cool. And as for Hokkaido itself, I feel a sense of guilt for not really featuring it in this video. But the truth is I film more videos in Hokkaido than any other prefecture in the country. And you can find half a dozen videos on this region alone in our list with all these locations below. But that is our 21 days in Japan itinerary video, and we hope you've discovered at least one place that you'd like to explore for yourself. But for now guys, happy travels and best of luck planning your trip. Time to get to work on the sequel. 28 days later in Japan? Well, at least I've got a winter to work that one out.